Well, good morning. We are waking up in the Canadian Rockies this morning with our friend Darcy from Tourism Banff and Lake Louise. Welcome.
Thank you so much for having me. Ooh, as the wind
It is
picks up.
yeah. It's so lovely to be able to see you and tune in with you live in Canada this morning to see what's going on. I mean, Australians and New Zealanders really have a love affair with Canada. And so it's been a while since we've seen you and since we've seen the stunning Rockies. So thank you so much.
It's
for
my
bringing
pleasure.
us live.
We miss you. We miss having you guys over here.
Absolutely. Oh, we can't wait to come back. How's the weather? What's happening in Banff this morning? Oh, this afternoon for you.
This afternoon, late afternoon. We are, typical mountains day. It's a little bit of everything. We had some beautiful sun not long ago, a little bit of rain on my way here, and now it's just kind of average, kind of cloudy day. So, our normal spring, everything in the one day moment.
Yeah. I mean, the excitement of it, right?
Yeah, never a dull moment.
Never a dull moment. And so whereabouts are you sitting today, Darcy? Show me where you are.
Okay, well, I'm sitting on the Parks Canada Cascade Gardens bench. So you can see there, that's the Parks Canada head office for Banff National Park. I believe, actually, if I'm not mistaken, it used to be a sanatorium and a hotel. So it's got some history. But since 1935, it's been the park's headquarters here. And then we've got lots of mountains, as you can see. And we're just coming into gardening season. So, the snow's all melted and they're starting to get everything planted. But unfortunately, it's not growing yet. And then, of course, we have Banff Avenue right behind me there. So with Cascade Mountain in the background, it's one of my favorite views of town. You'll see it well photographed. But you've got the Banff Bow River Bridge there and Cascade Mountains, and it's a beautiful spot to be hanging out, that's for sure.
Yeah, I think you're quite lucky. It's absolutely stunning. Even on a grey day,
it's great.
Amazing to see. Yeah. Just so stunning.
Lots of fresh air.
Lots of space, lots of fresh air. That's what it's all about.
But
you've
nice.
Been in Banff for quite some time and working with the tourism board there. So we're going to pick your brains a little bit this morning, if that's okay.
That works for me.
So tell me, why do so many of us flock to the Banff and Lake Louise region?
Well, I mean, the scenery would be the obvious answer there. I mean, it's one of those stunning landscapes that is on most people's bucket list, I think. Yeah. To really come and see if those lakes truly are as blue as the photos show. And, they are. And if not, a little bit more blue than the photos. So definitely come and check those out. It's just one of those places. It's one of those iconic places you want to visit. I have one of the best jobs in the world, looking after marketing this destination. It sells itself. So, who doesn't want to come here is kind of what it comes to at the end of the day.
I mean, absolutely. And I remember visiting, so many years ago now, and I really must come back. But I remember very clearly walking down Banff Avenue, and actually it was probably coming on sunset because the lights had started coming out in the streets. But it was just crisp. It was beautiful. It was fresh. But I just remember looking up at the mountains and feeling a world away from my regular everyday life. It's not something that we see, snow-capped mountains every day. And of course, there's some really awesome activities to do in the Banff Lake Louise area, both through the cooler months and of course the warmer months. The gondola has to be one of those I must tick the box.
100%. It's one of those, it's such a, the peaks here are beautiful, but it's rare for most people to be able to get up to the top of them. So to be able to take a gondola, it's easy and it's scenic, and it's just 7 minutes that it takes you to the top of the mountain, and the views are insane on that side of the valley, and it gives you the side, you can see almost all the way to Lake Louise from there. It's absolutely stunning. So even on a cloudy day like today, it is still the most scenic place to be. It is. You don't want to miss that when you come here, for sure. And the
Definitely.
restaurant at the top is amazing too. Just
Oh,
saying.
you know, I've never eaten there, so that's a must do then. Okay,
Yeah.
good.
Mm-hmm.
Good
Yeah.
to know. You mentioned Lake Louise. We
Yes.
all know Lake Louise because of the stunning pictures. We are told that it is in fact that blue all the time.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, tell me about that. Why is it so stunningly beautiful?
Yeah, it's funny you ask because it just April just finished, and every April we get together as a town and we go out there when the water level's nice and low and we paint the bottom for all the tourists. No, that was our April Fool's joke one year, but no, we don't do that. That's not necessary, thankfully. It is blue and turquoise depending on what time of year you come. It changes from season to season. Obviously, it's white in the winter. But in the different areas, spring, summer, fall, it does change colors, and it's all because of the glacial silt that comes down off the glacier behind the lakes. And the silt comes with the melted ice, and it floats in the water and refracts different colors. So it's
Oh my God.
it is pretty stunning. We had a pretty amazing moment early this winter. All our lakes froze over, and we didn't get a lot of snow. So the wind blew off all the snow, and we were able to skate on these lakes that were still turquoise.
Oh,
And
wow.
just you're skating on turquoise frozen ice. I mean, it doesn't happen every year, but when it does happen, it is pretty magical.
That
So
sounds just a little bit special.
yeah, even for us locals. Yeah.
Absolutely, absolutely. So tell me, a couple of, I mean, when you're local and you have those little moments that don't happen every year, it's very, very special. But I'm sure there's other things that you do as a local or places you would like, maybe not to tell everybody, but perhaps you'll tell us today. Some local hidden gems, a few little secrets, maybe.
Well, I mean, for me, I think one of those things when you're getting when anybody lives in their own destination, they forget to look up once in a while. So for me to kind of remember where I live, there's these little walks around town that us locals often take on our lunch breaks and things like that, and they're little pathways and they wind around the rivers and. I recommend those ones because you're getting out there and you're going to bump into a deer or an elk, or don't worry, the bears don't come close in the summer because they're afraid of all the people. But it's one of those things. It reminds you why you live here and why you visit here. It's so magical to have that. And I don't know if you can see this little tiny. We call it a hill, but it's a mountain, I guess. And it's right in the center of Banff. It's called Sleeping Buffalo is the First Nations name. So, and it's one of those places that we often hike at lunchtime or something like that, just to kind of get out and around and get into the trees and get up above, everything and check out the views. So if you're into any kind of hiking, it's just a short, probably an hour and a half hike. So it's a nice, simple hike, but it gets you up and incredible views as well. So, those are the things that getting out into nature that just make us all want to live here.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. We often have 2 nights on a lot of our tours in the Banff Lake Louise region. And I think that really is a minimum number of nights to stay because it's just so beautiful and we get to see and enjoy the scenery, the gondola, out to Lake Louise, of course, and it's just absolutely stunning. I love that you gave us the hint about being sure to try the restaurant at the top of when you go up on the gondola. I didn't know that. But any other restaurants that we should know about or local treats that we should know about?
There are, and you know what? There's so many new ones popping up that I haven't even had a chance to try them all because I have too many kids. But the one of the newest one is called Three Bears, and it's a brewery. So they're making their own beer and soon to be spirits in there too. It's going to be a distillery, and the atmosphere in there is absolutely fabulous. And they do Alberta beef really well. So we're known for our beef in this area. So if you do like a steak or anything like that, they do some really good things in there. Our most famous steak restaurant in town is called Chuck's. So that's where we go on our special date nights out. But if you're looking for a beautiful restaurant for that Alberta beef, Chuck's is the place. One of my personal tiny little favorites, because it's just a little, it probably has room for about maybe a dozen people at this point. And it's called The Block. And they do some amazing food. And the chef named Stefan, he actually just opened the restaurant in town called Shuku, and it's a Japanese inspired restaurant. And the reason I mention it is because I haven't been able to get a table there yet, but it is the place to go. So I have heard nothing but amazing things. But yeah, it's, we have a place up on the top of Norquay that you can take the chairlift up to. And even if you just have a drink up there, it's the scenery and the food and everything that it's really, anywhere you can get up high and have a drink is kind of a good thing, isn't it? Yeah.
Oh, so special. I can only imagine the sun, starting to go down as you're sitting at the very, very top of these mountains, enjoying a beautiful glass of perhaps red wine on a cool day, or perhaps a white wine on a nice summer's day. Either way, yes. Amazing. I can't wait to come back and do that. That sounds brilliant. Darcy, it has just been an absolute pleasure having you on this morning. I am so delighted that we could wake up in the Rockies with you here. I know it's late afternoon for you, so almost home time, but we haven't seen Banff Avenue in so long that this is so special. I know I speak on behalf of so many Australians and New Zealanders when I say we need to come back.
Please come back.
Your time. That's just truly amazing.
Well, thank you so much for having me, and we cannot wait for our borders to open to you guys. We just miss you, as I said.
Awesome. Well, we can now go ahead and start booking our tours for 2022. We do have them live on our website, and we will make some notes in the comments here so you can go ahead and find those really easily. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in this morning, and thank you again, Darcy. That was just wonderful.
Thank you so much.
Bye.